A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke, chapter 19, verses 11 to 28. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. While he had their attention, and because they were getting close to Jerusalem by this time, an expectation was building that God's kingdom would appear any minute, he told this story. There was once a man descended from a royal house who needed to make a long trip back to headquarters to get authorization for his rule and then return. But first he called 10 servants together, gave them each a sum of money, and instructed them, "Operate this until I return." But the citizens there hated him, so they sent a commission with a signed petition to oppose his rule. "We don't want this man to rule us." When he came back bringing the authorization of his rule, he called those 10 servants to whom he had given the money to find out how they had done. The first said, "Master, I doubled your money." He said, "Good servant, great work. Because you've been trustworthy in this small job, I'm making you governor of 10 towns." The second said, "Master, I made a 50% profit on your money." He said, "I'm putting you in charge of 5 towns." The next servant said, "Master, here's your money, safe and sound. I kept it hidden in the cellar. To tell you the truth, I was a little afraid. I know you have high standard and hate sloppiness, and don't suffer fools gladly." He said, "You're right that I don't suffer fools gladly, and you've acted the fool. Why didn't you at least invest the money in securities so I would have gotten a little interest on it?" Then he said to those standing there, "Take the money from him and give it to the servant who doubled my stake." They said, "But master, he already has double." He said, "That's what I mean. Risk your life and get more than you ever dreamed of. Play it safe and end up holding the bag. As for these enemies of mine who petitioned against my rule, clear them out of here. I don't want to see their faces around here again." After saying these things, Jesus headed straight up to Jerusalem. The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning. Let's listen to a short reflection according to St. Luke chapter 19 verses 11 to 28. Invest your talents to grow in love and service. In today's Gospel, Jesus tells the parable of the talents, emphasizing the unique gifts God gives each person. Everyone, in some way, has qualities they can offer to others. No one is solely a student or solely a teacher. Each of us learns from and contributes to one another. The story begins with a nobleman who entrusts his servants with wealth, instructing them to trade until his return. Jesus uses this scenario to illustrate that God gives us various abilities and expects us to use them wisely. The parable also highlights how fear can lead to inaction. One servant, afraid of his master, hides the talent he received instead of investing it. Jesus emphasizes that this mistaken view of God as a harsh ruler causes the servant to retreat, isolating himself and preventing his growth. This false image of God stifles freedom and community, showing us that fear of failure or loss hinders the development of our gifts. The parable encourages us to rethink our understanding of God. God is not a dictator. He is a loving Father who wants us to thrive and take risks for His kingdom. True faith drives us to serve, give generously, and love, allowing us to grow in freedom and receive even more in abundance. As Jesus said, "To everyone who has, more will be given." Do we recognize and value each person's gifts in our communities? Are we providing spaces for individuals to share their talents without fear? Reflecting on this parable, we are called to trust God and courageously invest in one another, building a kingdom rooted in faith, hope, and love.